Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're gonna see if this video will even upload. Anytime I talk about anything regarding the government's wrongdoing, all my apps just stop working, which is a little sketch. But anyways, today we're gonna talk about the Yellow Vest protests. So, the Yellow Vest protests were a series of weekly protests in France from 2018 to 2020. It was originally motivated through rising fuel prices, a high cost of living, and economic inequality. This movement was arguing that most taxations were falling on the lower and middle class, and not needing a car became a status symbol because if you lived in the city, you had so many options for transportation, but only people that were rich could afford to live in the city. And then raising costs for those with cars, along with other changes, was rightfully seen as a direct targeting of the ones struggling the most. Some protesters were demanding the resignation of President Emmanuel Macron. French law requires that they have high visibility vests in their cars for emergencies, which was seen as a call to arms due to the convenience, ubiquity, and association with the working class. Demonstrations involved blocking roadways and fuel depots. Police action resulted in officers being charged for their violent behavior and criticized by politicians. However, the mistreatment of protesters in courts was apparent. Police investigations were slow and steady, but often courts rushed judgment of protesters with little regards for their rights. Around 3 million people participated in the Yellow Vest movement. Participation dwindled due to police violence as well as the COVID pandemic, but continued after restrictions were lifted. The movement completely rejects politics leaders, even those that attempt to arise among the group. A significant amount of misinformation is spread about this program because of the lack of positioning. There is no public relations persons to handle the view. Women's role in focusing communication channels over violence was crucial. Priscilla Lodowski said, "We are exhausted by the colossal pressure of taxation while a small elite constantly dodges taxes." And there is a song that I have the version of it translated into English that they associated with this movement, and I will have that linked below as well as the sources that I used in this. Forgive me if I say this guy's name wrong as well, but Jean-Luc Mélenchon is a French politician and the deputy in National Assembly. At one point, he claims he wanted to join the Yellow Vest protests, and one protester wrote, "You're trying to exploit the movement and kill it off. Go back and chat with your pal Macron." Later, Mélenchon put on his blog that the working class is politically irrelevant. So, what to get out of this writing? There was something mentioned in one of the readings I found that I felt was kind of unimportant to the cause that seems really important to talk about, which is the level of education that any number of protesters have. Don't get me wrong, the level of education someone has is important to some degree, but I think that intelligence is not specified enough or not linked closely enough to the statutes of regular schooling. Someone can be highly emotionally intelligent but find it near impossible to pass certain classes at school, and those types of people might find it harder to subscribe to certain schedules than those who are more logically intelligent. Keeping in mind that there's many ways someone can be intelligent, logically, mathematically, musically, through nature, spatially, inter- and intrapersonally, existentially, linguistically, and bodily and kinesthetically. It's not wrong to be intelligent in one different way or another. We all function differently, but to focus on how uneducated a group of working class folks are, to me, is irrelevant because those are the people that are much more likely to succeed morally, empathetically, emotionally. Also, how much of their lack of education is because of the cost of living being so high that they can't afford to lose time going to school? Seems like another position to which we need to apply some critical thinking. Something specific to learn about this that I didn't really write down that I am giving to you as a little tidbit. Sorry to the people that only read the Patreon post, but something that's really interesting about this is the way that they tried to keep politics out of it. And in one of the articles that talks about their lack of education, it's phrased becoming political while avoiding politics. And the reason this is so interesting is because there are people that join the Yellow Vest protests that are from extremes on both sides, but they don't have that at the core. They don't bring that as like the point of the movement, because I feel like they realize that that's a divider, and like the different classes that they break us up into and like make us fight against race, make us fight against gender, make us fight against political beliefs and this and that. It's just another way to distract and divert attention away from the things that they don't want you to focus on. And that's why they think that the working class is so scary, because instead of just doing things morally and ethically right, they want to play some roundabout game. This will probably get shadow banned or censored because the government doesn't like being called out. It's their job to work for you, because I don't know the ins and out of other political institutes across the world, and that's my fault for not being educated enough on all that stuff. But specifically in America, it is written that, I forgot, I just started blanking. I don't know, we the people, you know, like they have the interests of their rich buddies at heart, and they're no longer trying to run the government in a way that is beneficial to the majority of people, and they're restricting education because it makes them fearful that people know that things are wrong. Which, what a choice for me to want to be an educator during a time when people love being uneducated. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, if you're even able to watch this, if it even goes up. And I'll see you guys in the next video.